Hi you guys and welcome to my studio. It is me, Gideon. I'm also known as Gideon's Light and I'm your creatively fit coach. Thank you for joining me in another episode of The Creative Heart. This week I was a little bit out of sorts and I was unable to record my usual weekly video. So I have a free afternoon this week and I decided to wrap things up on my creative journal. It needed a front cover and that's exactly what I did over here. So let me bring this closer. We literally just played with paint, masking tape and some surprise art tools. So I just wanted to give this art journal a little bit of a finish and this is what I'm going to be showing you today. So let me turn the camera around and let's get into it. Hi everybody and welcome to my studio. It is fun for me. I've got this pocket of time this afternoon. That means I can come into my studio and play and create something. And unfortunately on Mondays, some unforeseen circumstances prevented me from recording my usual weekly Creative Heart prompt. And seeing that I've got some time this afternoon on this very hot day here in Pretoria, I decided to come in and then show you guys how I'm going to finish off this concertina self-made art journal that we've been journeying through. And this little feather on the front of this board is what started this whole project as an inspiration for me. Unfortunately, it got damaged through the months of working with this art journal, and I never thought of sealing this particular artwork on here. But let me tell you the story quickly. I literally tried this feather brush technique on this piece of a backing of a watercolor board, just to see what will happen. I was preparing for another class, and then at some stage I ran out of art materials and I was busy producing beautiful episodes for my YouTube channel, and my eye caught this feather on the back of this board, and I was looking at this heaps of recycled paper that is coming out of my stock boxes at the hair salon, and I thought, no, I don't have to have money for art supplies. I can literally reinvent the materials that is right in front of me. So I divided the board in half. So this literally is the front, and this is the back of the same board. And what was so amazing for me is that these papers that I get in my recycle bin is literally the same size. It was just a coincidence. So my mind recognized the opportunity, because this comes in little long strips, as you can see. So I literally folded it up and stuck some pages in here, and trolla, we got an art journal that's been quite an interesting journey for me to be on, because through that I discovered and explored a variety of compositions. And if you've been following along, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is an entire playlist of an entire year called the Weekly Creative Heart Prompt. Look at the description below this video. You will find a link for the complete playlist. And there you will journey with me on this, through this year of creative practice. And so without any further ado, I thought, now that this has gone through a bit of battering, I do like sort of the aged vibe that it got here. But I think it's time to redesign this entire front cover and back cover, and I'm going to cover this up. But it was just good to put this on film and to remember the story of how this little exercise sparked a whole year of creativity for me. So That's the way the cookie crumbles. So I want to encourage you guys. A creative practice is all about play, it is all about exploration, it's all about having fun and discovering who you are in a whole new way. So, what have I got here today? I've got my grey paint. I thought of giving it a base coat of grey, and that I'm going to play with these student grade pastels and some latex ploppers. This is a makeup applicator. These are those sponge ploppers that you get at the art supply store, because I'm inspired to just print circles on here with a variety of colors to create a beautiful patterned kind of cover for my art journal. And then later what I'll also do is I'll try and find some ribbon that I can put around this art journal in order to tie it up so that I can store it nicely. So I'm just gonna put some paint out. I know this thing is very thirsty, so it might take a minute to cover. In fact, I think I must add some of my acrylic medium to this so that we have a good seal. So without any further ado, I think before I'm going to paint it, I'm going to just use my acrylic matte medium to seal this board, because this is going to be very thirsty and I don't want to waste too much of my paint on covering this board. So this is the amazing thing that I've learned through this year in working with my acrylic mediums, and in this art journal working with collage. I really learned the value of acrylic medium, not only as a glue but also as a sealant. So I seal all my paintings with acrylic medium rather than with varnish. I don't like that extremely glossy look of a varnish, but each to their own. If that's your thing, that's absolutely your prerogative. It's your artwork after all. But I like the matte medium, gives it a beautiful seal, and it is UV resistant. So if any of my colors were a little bit less UV resistant, sealing my artwork with this medium definitely will extend that light sensitivity of any colors that I might have used that is not so light fast. I know magenta is one of the colors, especially in watercolor, that can lose its vibrancy after prolonged sun exposure. So it's interesting to know that. I'm not overly stressed about it. I guess it's good to have your artwork as archival as possible. Just for making sure that especially if you sell art, that the client is assured that the painting will still look the same 10 years from now or 30 years from now. So this is just my way of sealing my art and making sure that it is light fast. But in this particular case right now, I'm just sealing this paper board with this acrylic medium, and then it will allow my paint to glide on there beautifully, and I won't waste paint, and this board will be sealed and less moisture absorbent as well. So I'm going to just heat this with a bit of a hairdryer, and I'll be right back. Right, let me just make sure we are still on camera. Yes, we are. So this is dried now. I just used my hairdryer, and to speed things up, so you can see this has got a richer look about it now, because we have some acrylic medium on there. Just want to wipe the sides here if anything else is wet. So you guys, this has been exciting this year to journey with you guys through this art journal, and I am still curious to find out from you guys what you would like to see more of next year. So I've had a number of comments, and I'm considering these comments, but really what I want you guys to answer me on is not so much if there's new styles or old styles that you want me to demonstrate. It's rather more of what I've already done. You know, do you guys like my collage elements? Do you want to see more painting? You like actually on canvas with paint and creating a painting? You know, would you guys like to see a combination of things? Would you like to have, you know, more, I don't know, Buddha painting classes? That's really what I'm asking you guys. So I'm really eager to know of the type of work that I do and showcase on my channel what you would like to see more of. Would you like me to see, you know, do more art journals like these? Would you like me to, you know, try more jelly plate, you know, kind of demonstrations? Just curious based on what we did this year. I mean, we worked through the elements of design, we've worked through principles of design, we've worked through composition. So I think it's really given us a very good foundation for moving forward. Maybe we must just continue to play in our art journals, and you know, I've got an extended list of creative prompts worked out. So I would just like to make sure that I'm hitting the mark as far as what my audience is expecting to see on my channel, so that I'm always developing my channel towards my tribe and the people that is supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, everyone. I'm so grateful for you. And yeah, it's always fun to get feedback and to see what people are finding enjoyable on my channel. So if you enjoyed this particular self-made recycled paper kind of creative prompt slash collage slash paint work that we've been doing up until now, then tell me in a comment below that that is what you enjoyed, and maybe tell me which episode you enjoyed the most so that I can go and have a look at that again. So I will allow this also to dry, which is going to take a minute. You saw how quickly the gray paint now glided over this paper because it's not thirsty anymore, so it's acrylic to acrylic. It just saves a lot of paint and effort. Otherwise, you would be coming halfway in a section like this on a dry page like this, and your paint would be finished and you still have streaks and it's not covering. So hopefully that was already a tip that you can try, especially if you work on a foundation that is not normal, like cardboard or plastic or I don't know, some kind of other different kind of surface that's not stretched canvas or canvas board. So I'm going to let this dry, and when we come back, we're going to play with our little art applicators. Awesome, that is dry, and we are going to be playing on this page. All right, I was just thinking maybe I don't want to cover the entire page with ploppers, so I'm just going to get out some masking tape. It's really, really hot here in Pretoria today. I think we're in the middle of a heat wave. So the air conditioner is running and it is baking outside. So yeah, it's interesting to see how nature is just as, what shall we call it, confused or angry, overwhelmed, going through changes. I don't know. I don't want to say what Mother Nature is feeling, but you know, I think it's just a projection of my own feelings. It is what it is. But the severe weather patterns worldwide has been quite noticeable of late. And I really think we are starting to feel the bite of global warming. And, you know, as a stylist and as an artist, I am aware of these things, and that's also why I like to, in my own way, reduce, reuse, and recycle. And like at my hair salon, I only work with sustainable beauty products that is not petroceutical based, but rather is photoceutical based, meaning it is derived from plants. And unfortunately, paints is going to take a minute. I know there's organic paint out there, but it's so expensive and not everything is available in South Africa. So grateful for my art supplies, but then I try to compensate in some way, shape, or form, you know, like in reusing the paper, reusing stuff I would have thrown away, reusing plastic covering of my canvases so that this can be art technique. I like to do stuff with it instead of just throwing it away immediately. So at least it had another use of some sorts before I discarded it. So, yeah, I think our world is really asking us to dig deeper and to try and see where we can make a difference. Okay, so all I've done now is I've decided to sort of just give myself a nice central window, which is also a composition in its own shape and form, although this might be the typical thing that we avoid to do, and that is to be smack bang in the middle. But I sort of thought of a window or a doorway or something like that on this art journal. Not literally, just, figuratively, creatively. So I'm going to experiment and see what I can create here. So I'm just going to dispense a bit of paint. I'm going to start with this makeup applicator. You can see I've used it before to do a technique. And I'm just going to use my palette board here. And I just want to collect enough paint here on the bottom. Here we go. I quite like what that texture is. I'm just testing over there what this will look like. So I'm just going to press that down. Oh, that's pretty. So this is really just experimentation and play. Like this entire journal was experimentation and play. I literally sort of created a hard prompt list in my mind based on things that inspired me up until then that I wanted to explore more of in my art journal. And what happened with each episode was completely experimental, intuitive, and in the moment. I absolutely promise you that none of my episodes were so well thought out before the time that I knew exactly to the minute what was going to happen. I literally just went with the flow. And you know what? Through that playful attitude, I've learned a lot, I've processed a lot, I've discovered a lot about myself, about art, about my art supplies, and that has given me a lot of freedom and it has empowered my art in many ways. It has liberated me considerably from perfectionism because, believe it or not, I might look all happy go lucky, but I've also come into art with a bit of a perfectionistic attitude. And yeah, so I also had to learn to love my own marks and not be so critical of it the whole time. And it took me a minute to get to where I'm now. And I think it's still, when I'm doing a serious painting, I easily get frustrated there are days where it feels like your art supplies just doesn't want to cooperate, right? It's like, what are you doing? That's not the mark that I intended to make. So that's quite normal. So I just wanted to share that with you guys as well. So I'm just having a nice little creative chat with you guys while I am creating the top cover of my self-made art journal. Oh, I love these little textures. I'm going to zoom in for you guys just now so that you can see what I see. So I think next week I will do a bit of a page through both the smaller art journal and this self-made art journal, and just show you guys then how you can use your art journal to sort of become aware of your own art language, your color palette, your sort of things that you think is beautiful, lines, movement, shapes, colors, ideas. It all comes together, That's quite pretty. I absolutely love these colors. They're so beautiful. So I'm also eager because I haven't looked through my smaller art journal in a while, and I think that's just going to be a lot of fun to just reflect and go back and see what did I learn this year and what did I enjoy, what didn't I enjoy. Find out, go deeper and ask yourself why you enjoyed it or why didn't you enjoy it, that kind of thing. And that's one way to become very familiar with your own art ethos. And if you don't have a creative practice, you might not even know what am I talking about. What is an art ethos? Did you miss a lesson somewhere? And really that is something that I learned from Robin McClendon. And she talks a lot about your own art ethos, your own art language, your own color palette. And, she really inspired me a lot and taught me a lot. And I absolutely enjoy watching her videos as well. It is definitely a staple of mine. And I learned to play. I learned to not take myself so seriously. And it's okay to experiment. It's fun to experiment and just to express yourself and not to edit yourself so much the whole time. I think we edit ourselves quite a bit without even realizing it. Oh, that's so pretty. And now you guys can also see why this background is so useful, because the gray is just a neutral. So even if there's areas where the gray is shining through, it's not distracting from what I've just created. And that is quite nice. Just want to lower that mountain of paint. Now I think it needs one last bit. Now this is the pastel yellow. It's quite pretty. I'm quite enjoying the pastels lately. I don't know, it's happy colors to me. They're light, they're bright, but they're not insipid. They're not like powerless. They still have a lot of punch to them, and they definitely stand out. And it's just because they've added a lot of white to the paint, so that way the color is showing up nicely. Yes. You see, I did learn something from my composition. And I think that's, one of the things that I want to sort of underline and highlight is when you start to play in your creative practice with these prompts and, figure out composition and elements of design, whatever you are trying to figure out, even if it's just to play with color, what happens is you learn to trust yourself in the moment. And you learn to play and experiment, and you allow for that magic that happens that you can never plan for or even, control, because working with a tool like this, it's just a blob. It's just printing a blob. I've got absolute no control over the lines it's going to make, the shape of it to a certain degree. So, in accepting that mystery, that part that you've got no control over, and you allow that magic to come to the page, oh my word, that sometimes to me is the biggest fun and reward in my creative practice. But then later, when I try it again and I sort of say, oh, okay, I really enjoyed that. Maybe I should make, birthday cards in this way. Then I go and I take this idea further and I will, play with it on cards and make that greeting card stock, and then people are asking me, oh, how did you come on this idea, where did you see this? And it's really, I didn't see it anywhere. It's just something that happened in my own creative practice, and it's a lot of fun to see how things can come together. So I think in my 5-week creative jumpstart, which is like really at the very beginning of this year or the end of last year, I can't even remember. One of the things that I did was I created my own washi tape with masking tape and the paint that's on there. That's why I'm saving these, because you can add to them or I can use them again on another project now. And that can become collage elements. So just if you're curious, isn't that pretty? I absolutely love that. I mean, it took us 5 minutes and we created a cover for our art journal. So I'm going to let this dry. And then when I come back, I'm just going to see maybe I can frame this or I can add some ink. Maybe I can bring a bit of contrast in there in some way, or am I just going to leave it like it is? Maybe we'll add some gold around there just to give it some importance, and yeah, we'll see how I'll finish this off. But this is my idea for this week. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this and that you were also inspired by this pocket of time. Maybe you're just in the mood now to grab your makeup application and a bit of paint and paper and blob away and see, what comes up. So I'll swing the camera around for you guys and show you up close. You have to see all this yummy texture on here and how these colors has worked together. So if you're new here, remember to hit that subscribe button. I'm your Creatively Fit coach. So I'm here to inspire you every week with little, small, easy, beginner-friendly, or even advanced ideas about creative practice and how this can help you to grow personally, develop your personal resilience, and get into your creative practice, which is creating art, isn't it? So thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking around. And I'll see you guys again next week when we do a bit of a page through. And I'm quite excited to just really show you guys how you can analyze your art journals and take stock of what it is that you created in there. So I'll speak to you guys real soon. Hey you guys, I just wanted to come up close to these imprints that I made with this makeup applicator so that you guys can appreciate the texture it gave me and how these colors also work together. That's quite pretty. I mean, look at that. It looks like a water lily pad. And I mean, it's not even a stencil. It's just what happened. I absolutely love that little combination of colors there. Oh, this is just so cute. So you guys can see how this is going to just draw attention to this art journal. So anyways, just wanted to share that with you. I'll see you guys real soon. Bye bye for now.